I'd like to teach you a really phenomenal tool which helps you move through an issue that you have with someone else or a part of yourself that you're struggling with. And it's a process of self-inquiry, but it can also be used to deeply let go. So I know this process as aspecting, but I'm sure it's got other names. We're going to imagine a person or a part of ourselves that we have an issue with on a cushion, and then we're going to have a conversation with them or with that part of ourselves. For the rest of this video, I'm just going to imagine that it's with someone else, but if you wanted to aspect, say, with your own arrogance or with the part of yourself that's depressed or angry, then it's also possible to put a part of yourself on the cushion and use this technique in the same way. Let's say that someone's broken up with you and they're just not available to have a conversation with you anymore. Then you could put that ex-partner onto the cushion, or with your mother or your father or brother, sister, colleague. I mean, pretty much anyone that you've got an issue with, you can use this tool. First of all, what you're going to do is you're going to get the cushion that you want to use. You're going to put it opposite yourself. And you're going to say, I invite, and then the person's name or yourself to aspect. And we're doing this for the highest good of all so that I can come into completion. So you're basically just setting your intention for the session. And this can really last for as long as it needs to. It's something you can do in 2 minutes or 5 minutes, or you might want to spend an entire hour. It depends where you go with it. It's an amazing tool. Aspecting is an amazing tool to integrate with other techniques like EFT tapping or emotional release, where you punch pillows or hand scream. And it really allows you just to get clear and come into completion, very possibly with someone that isn't able to express what it is that's going on for them or isn't willing to have a conversation with you. Or you just want to process something before you have a conversation with them, like taking ownership for your side of things. So after you've invited that person, you just imagine them sitting there. You're just going to close down your eyes and just really imagine that person sitting in front of you and how that feels inside your body. And it's a good idea just to shake a little bit to let that energy move through you. And then you're just going to let rip. You're going to start talking with your eyes closed as though that person is sitting in front of you. What is it that you really want to say to them? What is it that you really want to express to them? And don't censor it. Don't use this as a rehearsal for something that you might say to them in future. You're just really going to be completely honest and just let it go. You'll come to a point, and it may take 2 minutes, it might take 15 minutes, you might have a lot to say to them or not so much, but you're going to come to a point where you feel like you've said everything that you need to say. And at that point, you're going to switch. So what that looks like is you sit in the person's position and you put that pillow where you've just been. And then you're going to imagine being the person that you're having the conversation with. You can even sit like they would sit, or just imagine being them and closing your eyes and just imagine what it is that they've just heard. How would they respond? And you're not going to use your mind. You're not going to be like, well, they'd probably say this, or you're just going to imagine being that person and let yourself express what it is that they would express to you. And if you really do this by bypassing that logical part of your mind, you'll probably, be very surprised at what actually comes out. And so you just speak on as that person in response to what they've just heard. And it might feel a little bit slow at first. It might feel inauthentic or like you're pretending, but you're just using your imagination. Once that's come into completion, once that person's finished expressing, you switch back. And then you're yourself again, expressing what it is that you've just heard from them. How would you respond to what they've just said? And you may end up having a full-blown argument, or you might find that after a while you soften a little bit and you start to really listen to what it is can be really, really surprising, and it can bring up quite a lot of stuff. I'll just leave with a little demo of a time lapse of me aspecting, just so you can see what it looks like going backwards and forwards. And so to finish up, you might like to sit in meditation, you might like to journal, you could just send a wave of gratitude to the experience, or you might like to cut cords if this is someone that you're wanting out of your life. And if you feel like there's a lot of energy, if you're feeling triggered after doing this exercise, then I would recommend, I have several EFT videos on YouTube which you could use. Letting go of someone, practicing forgiveness or anger, clearing a trigger, reducing stress. Any of these videos are going to help just take the charge and the trigger out of what it is that this exercise has brought up for you. It's a really powerful tool to just get off your chest things that you probably haven't been able to say to them in person. And by clearing that, by letting go of what it is that you've been holding on to, you're going to be in a better position to actually have a conversation with the person. You'll have cleared a lot more of your stuff. So that is how we aspect. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much. Give it some love by clicking the like and subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube.